So for the next two stories, we've got a hodgepodge of different things where politics are trying to gaslight you, and then we got Hollywood trying to gaslight you. But Hollywood will be the second video. This one right here is going to be weirdos from around the country, and in this instance, the world. And he's trying to push for consensual incest to be decriminalized. The only thing I want decriminalized in this situation are firing squads. Consensual incest advocates, ugh, those people exist. I'm gonna need them against the wall. Are rooting for an anonymous New York parent who wants to marry their own child adult. We covered that not too long ago. Australian Richard Morris, who, has grown tired of fucking koalas? I don't get it. Who is pushing to change incest laws, and about 60 countries said he supports a legal push in Manhattan federal court, and said such behavior between consenting adults should not be criminalized. He and other advocates have launched about 130 petitions, mostly on change.org, so he's super serious, guys, seeking to change incest laws around the world. Most have received little support. Good. Thank fucking God, okay? This is one of those things. It's just like anything to do with child debauchery. It's one of those things that should not be broached. One of those lines that were firmly drawn in the sand that need not digging up. Optimistically, it is a sign of an enlightened culture where we have to talk about situations such as this because everything else has been, already figured out, and this guy just leans over, looks at his first cousin, and really, really wants to stick it in. But remember, guys, this was just for two people who loved each other, and then Judge Roberts of the United States Supreme Court went ahead and legalized gay marriage. I just think that government should get out of the marriage business anyways, and if you can find a degenerate institution to abide by your insanity, well, fucking be my guest, I suppose. Then you got Keith Pullman, appropriate name, who runs the blog Full Marriage Equality, also cheered on the New York lawsuit. It's absurd to say that an adult can't consent to marry their parent. No, it's absurd to write that down. It's an absurd thing to say. That same adult can be sent to war, take on 6 or 7 figures of debt. Stop me if you've heard this before. Operate heavy machinery, be sentenced to death by a federal court, not in most states, and consent with sex with 5 strangers and marriage with one of them, but can't consent to marry someone they love. God, I remember when it just used to be about health benefits. But I don't know, maybe it was that whole push for normalizing sexualization of children with cuties last year. That was just their little line that they were throwing out there, just seeing if anybody would bite on it. And everybody from every side imaginable was like, that right there, that's wrong. We're not going to broach that topic. So now you got these weirdos coming in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to normalize incest, right? What's wrong with it, man? Well, there's plenty wrong with it. And they're going to use this as just their other little wedge issue, right? Oh, it's too consenting as adults. What they do in their own time is their own business. Yeah, well, I don't want to have to be paying for your fucking flipper kids. So just be careful if these stories start popping up more and more. Like, I'm sure full marriage equity, or equality, sorry. Just so used to degenerates using the term equity. I'm sure that blog is probably taken off, and it's one of those very popular blogs in the incest, zoophile, CP community. So the fact that they could cite, 2 or 3 people and push this as advocates say, it'll start out as advocates, and then it'll be support is mounting once, 2 or 3 other weirdos decide that they want to hop on this. Yeah. Just watch out for the signs of gaslighting, because this stuff is not going to stop until they have a completely fractionated society where all sorts of insanity, all sort of end of the empire type stuff starts taking place. And speaking of which, remember how we said that Joe Biden being the most popular president of all time, 81 million votes can't lie, obviously. That immediately after that, there was going to be some weird things happening with the polls. You don't have to take it from me. We can see Pew just did a recent poll, and Biden hits 59% approval rating. I mean, this dude is so goddamn popular, it's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. A majority of Americans, 59%, approve of Biden's handling of his job as he approaches 100 days in office, according to a Pew Research poll released Friday. The poll found Biden's job approval is up 5 percentage points from 54% in March, while 39% of those surveyed said they disapprove of his work thus far. The 59% approval rating is 20 percentage points higher than that of former President Trump's in a Pew poll from April 2017, and is similar to the approval rating of former Presidents Obama and George W. Bush in April of their first terms. Wow! Biden has been buoyed by support for his tone and rhetoric, as well as his handling of coronavirus pandemic, but not that of stairs. The Pew poll found 72% of Americans believe that Biden's administration ain't black. Has done an excellent or good job managing vaccine production and distribution. What a very narrow scope of questions to ask. 46% said they like how Biden conducts himself on the job. It's very funny. Compared to 27% who don't. Those people listen to what he has to say. And 44% of respondents said that they believe Biden has changed the tone of political debate for the better. 44% of people are functionally retarded, compared to 29% who have said he made it worse. Come on, man. Who believes any of this shit? My fucking God, dude. And I can't believe that The Hill has the balls to actually report this uncritically. Like, okay, listen. 59% of people who watch the local news couldn't be asked to watch a Joe Biden live stream. Like, he gets numbers on the White House channel comparable to what some of my coverage can get. Like, my high end eclipses some of their low end stuff, right? They can have like an hour-long live stream, a fucking town hall debate, and it'll get 1,200 views. I have some videos that are over 3,000, okay? And the White House channel has over 1 million subs. And I think that the leader of the free world probably has a little bit more interest than some asshole with a couple of questions to ask. So do I believe that Biden is 95 or 59% approved of in the country? No, I don't. But do I also believe that the pandemic right now is being used as a test run? Kind of. In the end, everything is about equity. How experts say the pandemic could invigorate climate change action. Yes, use this model of locking everybody down in order to push your crazy ideas. That's what they're advocating for here. And by they, that's the experts. Remember, guys, follow the science. This inequity is far too familiar to those who study the effects of climate change. They're previously talking about vaccination, and I'm not going to cross over that fucking minefield, so bear with me. As the climate crisis worsens, many groups... Whoa. We got to slow down a little bit. As the climate crisis worsens? What? I didn't think that was happening. But that's already settled science. I forget we're on CNN, so of course. Including poor communities and communities of color. Of course they're the most affected. Are the most vulnerable to the dangers of a warming planet. We were caught unprepared by the virus, but... Well, actually, that was the Obama-Biden administration who ran all the PPE and all the stocks completely out because of their inept handling of H1N1, but hey, whatever. But we've also been caught unprepared by natural disasters that have been exacerbated by caused by climate change? Wait, what? So you're going to tell me, maybe, what's the most recent one that happened? Texas freezing over? That was about climate change? I remember when it used to be global warming, but that's fine. What do I know compared to Josh Apte, a professor of environmental science at California Berkeley School of Public Health? I couldn't think of a more worthless position. And this is because even in really prosperous societies, sorry, Freudian slip, we haven't attended to the equity infrastructure that we need in order to protect people. Oh my God, I hate that sentence so very much because it has equity and protect people and infrastructure. But remember, everything is infrastructure. The pandemic has also preyed on underlying economic and healthcare disparities. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows that Black, Hispanic, and Native American people that are infected with COVID-19 are far more likely to be hospitalized than other groups. Okay, what are their underlying health conditions? Is it just the fact that their skin color is a little bit different? than the person writing this? No, but again, there's more information to be culled from this than what they're actually presenting. When it comes to the pandemic response, we have already seen seeds of equity beginning to sprout. The COVID-19 vaccine global access, COVAX, an initiative led in part by UNICEF and the World Health Organization, is a coalition of wealthier nations and European Union Commission. Do these people not understand that they look exactly like the white savior right now? Like, oh, okay, look at all of these overwhelmingly European wealthy countries. We're going to come in, we're going to help the blacks and the Hispanics. Don't worry about it, guys. You're not smart enough to look after yourself unless we come down and give you the vaccine. Bunch of racists. As of April 12th, the multilateral organization has shipped 38 million COVID-19 vaccines to 116 participant nations such as, oh my god, I should have just read a little bit further, I guess, Ghana, Moldova, Belize, and Vietnam. See all those poor people in those countries there? You guys couldn't have been able to figure out how vaccines work without the good white man from the WHO and from wealthy European nations to come over and give you that. Of course not. There's also signs that Biden's administration is putting equity and environmental justice at the center of its plans to fight climate change. Biden recently unveiled a sweeping infrastructure plan where, remember, only $600 billion of that $2 trillion dollar package would actually go towards infrastructure. But once again, infrastructure is whatever you want it to be. That would invest hundreds of billions of dollars into clean energy and climate change mitigation research, which is exactly what you want from an infrastructure plan. But the plan also seeks to reform foundational social systems. Again, this is from an infrastructure plan that have suffered from both continual federal disinvestment and the pandemic. Whatever. It includes investment that the administration says will improve access to affordable housing, clean water, and reduce air pollution, especially in communities of color and rural parts of the country. Again, how is this going to get to the countries that are actually creating all the pollution? Most, if not all, of the coal-burning, energy-producing plants have scrubbers, have the technology that make the carbon emissions virtually zero. Or you have your natural gas plants that burn off just about, virtually, even less, right next to zero. Would you talk about nuclear? No. I've seen the videos. But no, meanwhile, fucking India and China keep sparking shit up and fucking polluting the atmosphere, if that's what you're actually worried about. And you aren't going to hold them accountable, right? Oh, we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord. We're going to hold China accountable. How are you going to do that? It's just a difference in cultures, man. Come on. Get on board. And that's what they want. We went through a sizable amount of this article, and they just present a whole bunch of fucking conspiracy theories as 100% fact. And if you do a little bit of cursory research, if you just follow along, you'd realize that so much of this stuff is untrue. So yeah, all of this stuff was just a little bit of a hodgepodge that all comes together via the underlying message that insanity doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little by little until it becomes normal. And then they just try to push a little bit further each time, right? Right now it's 15 days to slow the spread. And now it's going to be, what, 18 months before we can do anything? And then probably, what, 3 years and a few fucking jabs in the arm before everything can return back to normal? But you're still going to have to wear your mask all the time, right? And if we can lock you down for a disease that probably kills a nominal amount of the population, oh, we can also lock you down for something that'll also have a global effect. And we'll tell you that it's super popular. And if you don't agree with us, you're just a bigot who doesn't understand and you're not for equality, right? But if you think that all of that stuff is crazy, I'll show you what Hollywood's doing. And those motherfuckers are nuts. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.